demonstration in Docker. If you're ready to begin, Marcrine or Patrick, I guess now we can begin as they will join us as they join us. Marcrine? Patrick?
Hi, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, so good evening, everybody. My name is Patrick Odhiambo, and I'd like to check if Marcrine is around. Marcrine?
Yes, Patrick.
Awesome. You can say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So, who starts? Should I start, or do you want to have the first go?
I can, okay, we'll start with what is Docker.
Okay.
So, we can both start. You
Or
can tell us what Docker is,
uh-huh.
and then we can proceed to installations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll share my screen, and then I'll share an introduction on Docker, and then Marcrine will also contribute something on the same. And then when we come to the installations, we will start with installations on Windows EC2, and then and then Marcrine will cover the Linux version of the same. So I think that's okay.
Yes.
Awesome. All right. I have shared my screen. Let me know if it is visible.
Yeah, you can see it.
All right. Awesome. So we are going to do just I call it an abridged version of an introduction to what Docker is, and we are going to focus mostly handling Docker in AWS. So generally, Docker is a software platform that allows builders to build, test, and deploy applications quickly. That is like the basic introduction to what Docker is. As in, if someone asks you to define what Docker is, you can just tell them that Docker is actually a software platform that is used to help builders and administrators build, test, and deploy applications quickly. So Docker packages software into standardized units that are called containers. I know by now guys have had things to do with containers. Maybe you've even interacted with them, worked with them, or if this is a new term to you, then just know that Docker is one of the packages that helps you to actually package your software into containers. And these containers have everything that you need, that the software which you are creating or which you are testing needs to run. And these things that we call, these things that the software needs to run are things like code, system tools, libraries, and runtime. So you can use Docker to quickly deploy and scale applications into any environment and know your code will run. So you can use Docker as we will see later. You can install Docker on a Windows instance or on a Linux instance. Those are just like two different environments. Yes, the underlying OS is different, but Docker will run on both of them. So that is a cool feature about Docker. So running Docker on AWS provides developers and admins a highly reliable, low-cost way to build, ship, and run distributed applications at any scale. So you know that there's always a rush to get to market, especially if guys are coming up with software applications. You'll find that there is firm A versus firm B that are working on coming up with a solution and bring it to market. And so in this rush or in this race, it is important for developers working for these competing firms to make sure that they are able to not only develop fast, but also develop something that has been tested and works, and also develop them at low cost and bring it to market faster than their competitors. So Docker is one of those cool software platforms that allows builders to achieve that goal. So the workings of Docker, how Docker works, and the rest of the introduction will be covered by Marcrine. Over to you, Marcrine.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Marcrine.
Okay, everyone is going to contribute. So I'll talk more about Docker. Okay, Docker when you ask developers, I don't know if there is any developer here. Okay, I see one. Enoch. Enoch is a developer. He will understand. Okay, and everyone will understand too. So when you say Docker, it helps developers because we always have a problem whereby I can write a code on my laptop, and then when I install it in another person's laptop, it will not run, but it works on my laptop. So Docker eliminates that problem, and I believe some people can agree with me. Patrick or Enoch, are you there? Or any other developer? Oh yes, I can hear you. Please talk louder.
Am I loud now?
Yeah, we can hear you clearly.
Okay. So maybe I missed the part where you asking a question or
Yeah, I was telling people that developers have a problem whereby you can write a code on your laptop and it runs okay, but when you put it on someone else's laptop, it won't run.
you can take your computer to
Yeah, yeah. Now he agrees with me. So that's where Docker comes in. So like when Enoch codes on his laptop and puts it in a Docker container, and then he pushes the container's image to a repository. Then I pull it from that repository. It will definitely work on my laptop. So that problem of it is working on your laptop, not working on someone else's laptop, it eliminates that problem. And also, another thing about Docker, it's light. Like you can have a project of okay, maybe 3 GB, but when you use Docker but in multi-stage build, it will be able to reduce that to MBs. Yeah, and it's easier to move Docker around. So Docker is a cool thing. Okay, I believe everyone can agree with me on that. If you agree that Docker is cool, raise up your hand or thumbs up. Or if you don't agree, you can tell us why not. Why you're not agreeing with Docker. And it's allowed not to agree. You're not here to agree with on everything you say. So yeah. So that's a cool thing about Docker. And also, it's easy to install Docker on your laptop, on AWS. It's easy to manage Docker containers, and you don't need to know how to code to do Docker or to use Docker. You just need to know how to install it and convert your code. Okay, put your code into a Docker container, and then you push it to the repository. When I say to push it to a repository, it's something similar to GitHub. I believe everyone who is familiar with GitHub. So for Docker will have Docker Hub. You can use Docker Hub as your repository, or you can use ECR. It's in AWS to store your Docker images. Another thing, you cannot push a container to a repository. You can only push an image to a repository. So there is Docker images, there is a Docker container. So you should know the difference. A container, an image. You create an image from a container, and then you push that image to a repository for storage, and you can decide either public or private repository. When the image is in the repository and you give the link to anyone, if it's public, they can be able to pull it. And once you pull the image, they can run it, build it, and have a container and run the container. I believe everyone understands that. If you understand, please can shout or scream or do anything. Yeah. Patrick,
Oh, yes.
do you agree?
Yes, totally and completely.
Yeah, and I can see people commenting on chat. Brian Kefa, Edith, yeah, Edith. I want to hear your voice. Tell us how you feel about Docker.
Hello, Marcrine.
Hi.
I'm totally new to Docker.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about it?
From what I have learned from the two of you, Patrick and you,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool. Docker is cool.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
the spirit. And Kefa, Brian Kefa, tell us, how do you feel about Docker?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
How I feel about Docker?
Yes.
It's pretty okay. It's I love it. You know, I saved me a couple of times when you have to present something, but it's not working for you, and sometimes you test it in production, they work. So and you want to show it to potential somebody, so you just create an image out of that, go show it, and then you fix it later.
Awesome.
So it's pretty okay. Yes.
That's awesome. So, we'll not only talk about advantages, we can also talk about disadvantages of Docker. Like, you can ask yourself questions like, if I put my code in Docker and someone else pulls the image, will they be able to see my code? Okay, that's a yes. And I don't know if there is a way to hide your code. Okay, I don't know that yet. But maybe there is a way, that I'm not sure. But you can encrypt your Docker images. But when someone pulls your Docker image, they can be able to get in and see your file. Yeah. Okay, that's a small disadvantage. But there are ways you can avoid that. Different ways, but that's advanced level. We'll be learning today. Today is just introduction. We want to make sure that everyone is okay with Docker, and after this session, I want everyone to be seeing Docker and doing Docker, everything Docker. So we'll go to installation on both Windows and Linux. And Patrick will start with installation on Windows, and I'll do installation on Linux. And you can install along with that, so that when you are alone you can redo it and redo again and again until you get it. Yeah. Patrick?
Awesome. Thank you, Marcrine. Just a minute. I have some open questions for everybody. Actually, an open question for everyone. Give me a second. From our discussion, I have realized that there are guys here who have used Docker, and maybe your knowledge might be slightly ahead of what some of us have. And so I'm going to open this floor for a small discussion, and maybe call on someone who understands this question to answer. And Marcrine, you are exempt from answering the question. I'd like to hear from anybody else. What is the difference between Docker and a virtual machine? Anybody?
Docker and the virtual machine, yeah?
Yes, Brian.
Basically almost the same thing, except a virtual machine has a full operating system. Right?
Mhm.
The guest operating system is running on a full operating system, so it does a lot of resources. A Docker container is it's more like a skeleton. Just
Mhm.
whatever you need to actually make it
Mhm. Awesome. You have actually captured everything that needed to be captured in that distinction. That if you're thinking about Docker as a container, remember what we said in the introduction, that it contains everything that a software needs to run. Compared to a VM, if anybody has used a VM before, something like, let's say, Oracle VM, you realize that inside the VM you install an operating system. For example, you can install Linux. Once you have your operating system running, then inside the operating system you can come and now install everything else that you need in terms of applications. So that is a very good distinction between the two. It's very important to have that distinction at the back of our mind, even as we continue the discussion. So we are going to do installation of Docker on Windows, and we are going to do it using a Windows instance. So allow me share my screen again. Which screen? This one. Okay, share. And as Marcrine has mentioned, you are free to do it with us, to work with us. And in case at any point of our installation you are stuck or you get lost, feel free to ask. We want that by the end of this, everybody will be able to do at least installation of Docker on the two OSs, or on the two instances, that is a Windows instance and a Linux instance. So let's see. So we all know, I want to believe that all of us already have access to, first of all, can you see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good, awesome. So I want to believe that all of us have an AWS account, at least the free tier one. So we are going to start by, of course, logging in or signing in. And for my account, I already created an I am user with full admin privileges. So everything that we're going to do is allowable for me. So let's see. Okay, there goes. Don't do this at home. My passwords and everything, my computer remembers them because I don't share this computer with anybody. So let's go. Now we are logging in. We are logging in. Give me a sec. Awesome. Okay. So we are logging in. Forgive any lag that you might be seeing from my end. Sometimes these live demos depend heavily on the internet speeds that you have, but I hope everything will run okay. So when you come to your console home, the very first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to create our EC2 instance. That's the first thing that we are going to do. So as we create our EC2 instance, to create our EC2 instance, you can either come to the services tab and type EC2 instance, and then you're going to get it. Here it is. Or if you have been doing your stuff, like I've been using this account, all the services you see on this one sec, everything you see on my console home, these are some of the services that I've been using. So I can as well click on EC2 instance, and then it will take me straight to the EC2 management console, where I'll be able to launch my instance. So give it a minute. Give it a minute to load. Give it a minute to load. Awesome. So here we are, and I'm just going to launch an instance. Just a sec, things are hanging. I have a running instance. Okay. So there are different places where you can click to launch an instance. You can click this link, you can click down here, you can click this side. So I'm waiting for something to load, something that I like clicking, so that we go a bit faster. Let's see if it will work. Is it working? This internet today is slow. Give me a second. Where is my cable? Just give me a sec. I try shift to LAN and see if the internet will be a bit faster. It's loading. Okay. Awesome. So I already have an EC2 instance that is running, one that I created earlier today, and I've named it Docker. But I'm going to create another one, and I'm not going to stop this because there are some steps that I'm just going to tell you what to do, but we are going to skip those steps and get straight to the instance because apparently Windows instances are very slow. They take a long time to do some basic things that we need to do. So I'm going to launch a new instance, and I will name it differently. I'm doing this for the sake of anybody that is here, and maybe these initial steps are a bit difficult. Someone propose a name for our instance. Let's make it interesting. Anybody? Marcrine?
Yes, Patrick.
Well, sometimes in these demonstrations you can feel like you're talking to yourself because you're not.
Answering you through the chat.
Oh, okay. Someone's
Of Java.
Ati Java.
CloudForce instance.
Okay. So that is ionekane that we don't like some names. Let us go with Java. And I will do Java Docker. So mtu asifikiria tunazungumzia stories za Java. Hey, hiyo mambo na taxation inasumbua watu. All right. So we are going to name our instance as shown above, Java Docker, and then we will choose here. You are going to choose an instance that you'd like to use. If I was doing this thing live as in for myself, or maybe tackling a challenge or doing a project, of course I have a liking for Linux more than Windows for obvious reasons, but for the purposes of demonstrations, let's go with Windows. Okay, so I will leave everything as is. Our instance type that you're going to use is T2 Micro, which is free tier eligible or free tier depending. And then here you are supposed to create a key pair login. I'm creating a key pair login because later on when we connect to our instance, I'll be using an RDP client. So I'm just going to create a new key pair, and then again I'm just going to name it the same as the same as our instance key pair. I don't know why this machine is hanging. And then after that, you leave everything as is. Of course, the key pair type is RSA, private file format. I want to use OpenSSH, so I'll leave it to be .pem. Like that. Then create key pair. Let's see. So I will save this key pair on my desktop. It's saved, so we'll be able to get it when we need it. And then after everything else, I leave everything as is in terms of its default, and then I just go on and launch my instance. So that is step 1 of what we are doing, launching an instance. And then of course step 2 will be connecting to that instance, and then step 3 will be installing Docker inside that instance. So we are told that a successfully initiated launch of instance. So we can go back to our instances just by clicking that link. Then as you can see, we have Java Docker is still pending. So let's wait for it. Give it a few. I hope we are together. If we are together, Rusha some thumbs up so that we know that we are together. If we've left you behind, also feel free to shout out. Thank you for those thumbs up. So we can continue. Now our instance is running. Now that it is running, we are going to connect to it, and the first thing to do is you select it and then you connect to it. Now these are the different ways by which we can connect to it, but I'm going to choose the RDP client. That's what I'm going to use to connect to it, and then of course I'm going to download the remote desktop file for connecting. So here goes. All right, that's already done, and by default my downloads goes to my desktop, so it will be easy for us to get it. Or I can as well do this and click on that. Here goes. So we have our remote desktop connection. We are going to connect to it, but before we do that, we will need to get our password. So this is what we do. Remember the file that we had downloaded, the key pair file. So we are going to use it here. You click on get password. You upload your private key file. Private key file is on our desktop. Here it is. And so you open it. There goes. We have our private key pair there. Then now we are going to decrypt password so that we get our password. Here's our password. So we have our password, which you are going to use to connect. So let's see. Okay, I have two of them. All right, here. So let's connect. Let's connect and see. So this is our password. So I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to paste it here. And then of course I'm just going to say okay. Now here goes. So leave everything as is. Give it a minute. Okay. Give it a minute as it personalizes my settings for my instance. Give it a minute. It's almost there. There we go. So we have our instance. Our instance is ready for everything else that is to follow in, and actually what is to follow now is to install Docker on this. Now every step that you're going to do from this point onwards is the same thing that you can do on your Windows machine. So what we were doing from the time I started doing the demonstration to this point, I was simply creating an environment that simulates what you normally see in your Windows machine. So this is like your desktop or the face of your desktop, and so inside it we are now able to do our installations. So I'm going to shift from what we have created here to another instance that I had created a bit earlier. It is a few steps ahead of that. So this is the instance, and just to show you that it's actually an instance, let me minimize that. See, same background as the previous one. So this is the instance that we are in, and I've just so what you do once you are inside your instance, you need to locate a browser, and as you can clearly see, our desktop, if I may call it so, does not have it does not have an icon for a browser. So to get your browser, you will come to the start menu, and then find your browser, Microsoft Edge, which actually comes as a default browser with the instance. So this is what I have used. As you can see down here, this is what I have used. And the first thing you do, just do a basic search of Docker. There will be some search results that you will get, and then go to the official link for Docker, or the official website for Docker, which is this, www.docker.com. And then now that we are inside Docker here, we now go on and install Docker desktop for Windows. Docker desktop for Windows. And let me check. I'm not very sure if I had already downloaded it. Yes, I had already downloaded it. So when you click here, it will download. It's not a very small file, but it will finish downloading. Once it has finished downloading, as you can see up here, you open the file or double click. Let's see. So from here, you'll bear with me kidogo, because things are a bit slow. This thing is a bit slow. This instance is very, very slow. Maybe it's because of the specs that was used on it. Freebies. But also another thing that you should be careful not to do, don't overclick. Like for example, you are clicking on the installer 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and then when it finally decides to respond, you have like 5 installations, which will further slow your instance. So patience is highly encouraged. Let's see. I just hope that I've not done what I've told you guys not to do. So let's see. I'd like to see it on the downloads folder, so that if it finishes loading, then I don't see it anywhere, then I'm going to run it from this end. So let's see. Give it a minute. I swear, if we were doing this thing on Linux, we would have been done. Tambo-san, would have been done. But anyway, let's do it on Windows. Man. Okay. So I'm going to run it as administrator. Hoping I don't have other others that I decided to run. So if you've ever installed anything on Windows, anything including a simple app like a simple software like VLC, it's just the same thing. You know, Windows is a matter of you following what the GUI is telling you. You just click next, agree, or if it has come bundled with other things that you don't want to uncheck, then agree, then next, then finish. So it's actually the same thing. That's the same thing that you're going to do here. We're just going to install our Docker. And as you can see, it has decided to take its sweet time. So we wait. we wait. Aha, here it is. See, this is what I was telling you. If you overclick, you end up having multiple installations. So let me kill 2 of them, hoping that they'll be killed. Yes, there's one more. Kill this one. Okay, you can multi-press the kill one. You cannot overkill. Let's see. Hey, where is it? I want to be left with 1. Okay. Yes. Now we're hanging. Give it a sec. Awesome. There you go. So installing Docker configuration. So that is that. Now, okay. We are almost there. As we wait for that to finish, let's check if we have WSL here. I hope it's there. Let's see. Oh, there it is. So I'll come to it once we are done with the installation. So just realize that sometimes when you are doing your Docker installation, once you are done doing your Docker installation, it might require that you upgrade your WSL. WSL stands for, is it Windows Subsystem for Linux? Marcrine, is that the right expansion of the same?
I'm not sure.
You are not a Windows person, I know. So, anybody? What is WSL in full? You can chat GPT.
Windows subsystem for Linux.
Thank you. So it is true. It is actually a Windows subsystem for Linux. So you see, sometimes you might be having a project that requires you to run it on Linux. So there are many ways of doing it. Many ways. Actually, I have personally done it using three things. One is the WSL. Another one is VM, such as Oracle, and then another one you can also use Git Bash. And actually, of the three, and I think Marcrine might add another one. I think you can also use Nini. How do you call this favorite tool of yours, Marcrine? Code, VS Code.
Oh, VS Code.
Yes. See, VS Code has those plugins, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So personally, I think right now VS Code is slowly becoming a favorite, but I've been using a VM. I've been using a VM which has really been eating on my compute resources, slowing my machine and stuff. Git Bash is also very good. I've used it in a couple of assignments. Yes. So I'm beating stories as we wait for this thing to finish. Okay. Marcrine, see, we'll agree if we were doing an installation on Linux, so we would have done like even 4 installations on different machines. Sindio?
Yes.
Now see Windows. Windows. That's why if you run a poll and ask developers what their favorite OS is, they will tell you it is Windows. They will tell you it is not. They'll tell you it is Windows. They'll tell you it is not Windows. Kumbe uko macho in class. I was trying to see if people are asleep and agree with me. Kwani this thing has how many components that it's trying to install?
But it depends which developers.
Moses. You, Mr. Developer, tell me. Have you developed anything on the two OSs and compared?
Like for me, I think Windows is my favorite.
What have you developed on Windows? What have you developed on Windows?
I was just installing the Docker the way you are doing, but I got stuck somewhere. So I'm trying to see if I can move from that step. There's a step just ahead. Maliza tu utaona hapo mbele.
Okay.
Sumbua kidogo.
Okay.
Mtu akastraight ama mnaita
Now installation has succeeded. Now you must restart Windows to complete installation. Windows must be restarted. Where? Close and restart. So we are just going to restart our I hope okay, just a second. Okay. Now herein lies a small problem. No, is it a problem really? Let me see. Give me a sec. The thing I did, I shifted. I was not using the Java Docker. I was using the other Docker. Oh, sorry, not there. I've clicked it already. Sorry. I used a different instance. Sorry. Give me a sec. Where? And time is running. Just give me a second. I just want to log back in. Now. Now, I don't know. I used the other one. Sasa, I'm a bit sorry. I hope it will remember my password. Boy, if it does not, I hope it will remember my password. I had told it to remember. Good, we are in, so I need not worry. Where? Okay, so here goes. Now, the very, very final step is just to see if our Docker is installed. Oh, yeah, good. Here goes. Here is our Docker desktop. So you see you guys know, if you've downloaded, say, VLC, downloaded it from the internet, and then you're installing, then if you see a shortcut on your desktop, it shows you that that thing that you're installing has fully installed. So our Docker is installed on the desktop. It is here. It is ready for us to start using it. However, we are not going to go past this step for two reasons. One, we promise to continue from this step in the next demonstration when we'll be handling when we'll be handling challenge for week 6, challenge 6. So we will start from Docker desktop after we've now installed. Now we were just showing you how to install, and then you start using it from that point. Moving on, you will get such things. And then reason number 2, because I told you there are 2 reasons. Reason number 2 is also because of time. We are already past our time, and I'd like to allow Marcrine to do her demonstration of how to install it on Linux, because some of us might be using Linux, not Windows. And then from this point onwards, everything else will be it's just a matter of skipping, clicking as we move. I hope that has helped us see at least how to install Docker. Marcrine, back to you.
Yes, that was awesome.
Asante.
You are a guru. You are a guru.
Woi, where? Okay.
Comes to Windows. Some of us cannot install anything. You are a guru.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, where was I to start? Okay. I'll share my screen. I hope you guys can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
We can hear you very clearly.
Leah, are you recording this session?
Yes.
Awesome. Look at Enoch. Enoch is saying that he does not know even one Windows CMD command. Where? Those are Linux people.
Hello.
Yes,
I
Marcrine.
lost my connection. Few seconds. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. And can you see my screen?
Not yet loaded.
Okay, let me share again. This network. Now can you see?
Awesome. Yes.
Oh, Leah. I was asking Leah if she was recording the session.
Yeah, she said she's.
Oh, okay, no problem. So, we're going to start on Linux, my best, or at least everyone's best. I believe Brian, Enoch, maybe Lewis, I'm not sure. Moses, Windows, Ali, Ali. Can you say hi?
WSL.
Okay, you're a Windows person.
Windows WSL.
Nice.
That,
Okay, so
Marcrine,
yes.
that is a Windows person transitioning to Linux.
Oh,
Because
nice.
because WSL is Windows subsystem for Linux.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start, and I've already created an instance for Ubuntu 22. So this session, okay, this Linux session, I want to, okay, I'll do it in a very simple way so that I can show you guys that we are not magicians. These things are everywhere. You just have to Google it and read through the documentation and understand. So for Linux, I like this documentation with DigitalOcean. You just go there to Google and Google how to install Docker on Ubuntu 22. So it will depend on the version of your Ubuntu. It can be version 18, 20, yeah. So for this one, for my EC2 instance, it's version 22.04. And we are going to follow this tutorial, the steps. As you can see, they have already given you all the commands that you need to install Docker on your Linux machine. So, and you can also copy paste the commands as long as you know what the command does. Like the first command, it updates your packages. You just have to copy paste it there and tap there, and it will update your packages. And when you create a Linux machine, virtual machine, you have to do the update so that everything can start up. Before you do anything else, you have to update. And then the second command, they're saying there, okay, let me share this link with everyone so that maybe you can follow along, or you can do it later, because everything is there, literally everything, and it's easy. So the second command, it does that. Okay, I'm not going to read through everything because you just have to forgive me for today. So I'm installing that package there. Okay, it's long name, certificates, software properties. Okay, you can see how fast we're going Linux compared to Windows. Patrick.
You are burning.
Patrick, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Are you seeing
It,
things I'm doing?
it is true. It is true.
Now we are we are on our third command, the GPG key for the Docker repository on our system. We copy it and then we install. Yeah. The next step. Okay, and you cannot skip any command. If you skip any command, you'll get an error and you have to go back. But the good thing with Linux When you get an error while installing something, you just go Google the error and you'll find the solution there on Stack Overflow. Yes,
True.
Stack Overflow should be your best friend. Yes. Now after all those commands that I've done, okay, I know everyone knows what echo does, what cal does. Okay, these are just basic commands. And one thing, you cannot cram these commands. They are there. It's something that is there. It will never change. So you just go there, copy your command, and do what you want to do. This thing is not magic. Just normal something. So after installing that, all those packages, you do the update, and then you install. What are these things? Yeah, like you have to read through these things. When you are free, you have to read through. Like they explain every command what it does. So during your free time, Linux people, okay, not only Linux people, also Windows people. When you go to AWS, try creating an EC2 for Ubuntu, and then try to install this thing. And now finally we install the Docker. So we were just installing things that will help Docker run on our machine. So now we are installing the Docker, and there it will take like a few seconds, maybe a minute. Yes. As it installs, you can say anything. Okay. You guys have nothing to say for today. Yes. So now we've installed our Docker with a few a few steps. We are not even struggling. Okay. Now we check the now we check the status of our Docker. You just these things are, why don't you like Linux? That should be a discussion for another day. We have to ask people why they are not using Linux. I've installed with a few minutes, and I've done it. It's active and it's running.
Marcrine,
Yes.
David is saying that it is fear of the command prompts. Na hakuna
No.
pictures. I think he's talking about the user interface. Haina user interface. It is you and the
No,
terminal.
this thing, okay. You don't need the UI. You don't need it. If you can just put commands and things are done, why not? Why not? Okay. We've installed our Docker. You can see it is active. We've checked the status. Okay, this is command for checking the status. You can see here, checking the status for Docker. You can also stop it, start, enable, all that. Okay, there are many commands. I'll not talk about the commands today because I know it will be topic for another day. Okay, so step 2, when you don't want to use sudo while running your Docker commands, you can follow these steps. But because we are on an EC2 instance, we don't have to do this. Okay, but we don't have to do this because we just delete it. For now, we just have to use sudo. There is no running away from sudo. Okay, I hope everyone knows what sudo is.
Super user do.
Of course, yes. Everyone loves sudo. So you can type here Docker to see the commands. You can see here the commands. You can run, execute, PS to check the containers. See, everything is there. For Linux, David, you can see everything. You are being told everything. You're not even struggling. In fact, I've not used my mind. We just are there, not struggling. We are not thinking. You have been given all the commands to run, to execute, to list containers, to build an image from a Docker file. Yeah, we've installed, and now you've confirmed that it's there. If it was not there, it would have bring an error. And we can try to run an image, but because this image is not there, it will pull it from a repository. And because it's a public one, okay, let me just clear the screen so that you can see what is happening, what is going to happen. Let me paste there. Permission denied. Why? Because we are supposed to use sudo. So these errors should not scare you. And the machine is not the problem. If it brings you an error, you are definitely the problem because you've missed something. So you should not be scared. You should just check what the error is. So when you add sudo, it runs, and you can see here it was unable to find the image locally in this machine, the EC2 instance. So it has pulled the image from a public library, this hello world image. And now using the commands that we've just seen, I can try to do Docker. Okay, I have to use sudo Docker images, but let me try to do Docker images to see if the error comes. Yeah, you see, I hope everyone is seeing these errors. They are interesting. Okay, it's nice when you know what the error is about, but when you don't know, yeah, you can see. Let me clear my screen because I know you guys can see. I'm running that command. We want to see the images that are available on our machine, and we have this hello world image. Is everyone alert or hearing things or happy or sad or bored with Linux compared to Windows? Patrick, I'm sorry, but
I am not a Windows person per se when it comes to development.
okay. Now you can also do this one is to check the active containers. For now, we don't have a running container. Yeah. So like these things are just they're simple things, especially when you're doing with Linux. And as you continue with the documentation, you can see you can also pull an Ubuntu image. You can install Ubuntu in your Docker container. Like everything is there. I'm not going to do everything. You can run your container using this command, but this last part is the name of your container. In our case, hello world is our container. And when you get into your container, you can install things. It's like a small machine where you can go in, but it's kind of Linux machine, that container. So it won't have a UI. You just use the terminal. So like when you are in the machine, you can run this root. You can install Node.js. Okay, Node.js is a framework. JavaScript. Yeah, I don't want to scare anyone with tough terms. So I think we agreed to stop on installation. So I'm controlling myself. So anyone can ask a question. Or I can call out who has not spoken. Clinton.
Marcrine, there was a question.
Okay.
I think he came in late. It was Ali Sumi asking us about why Docker. you had talked about it in the beginning, but maybe you could summarize for him why use Docker.
I want someone to talk, someone else to talk. Clinton has been very active. Clinton, are you there?
I am here.
Yeah. Now answer that question.
Okay. So a specific scenario when you would use Docker, let's say you have a company application. You have one of the developers working on it. So ikifika time ya kupresent vitu zinaenda mrama. So let's say after you have created the application, you want to transfer it maybe to the product owner or the client, and when ikienda kwa the laptop ya client inaanguka. So one way to do that, you create an image, and your image would remain the same wherever inauploadiwa. So in summary, the reason mbona Docker inatumika ni it allows for easier reproduction of application and also testing. Yeah, by keeping the environment similar, no scenarios. Yeah.
That was good. I hope Ali has had. Ali,
Yes.
are you okay now with Docker?
Yeah. I'm okay now.
Okay.
Ali had also asked what is the difference between Docker and Kubernetes, and I think he was answered by Brian.
Yes, Brian is a guru. Brian,
Yeah, hello.
yeah, maybe you can just say the difference between Docker and Kubernetes. You can hear.
So, like I said, Docker is basically the container. So it's like we talked about. It's basically a container that's package your environment and everything that it needs to skeleton for you to run. But now Kubernetes comes when you have you have a whole bunch of containers that you want to manage them. So it basically helps you to manage the containers, orchestrate them automatically. It's basically an improved way of managing your containers. You know how infrastructure as code is a better way of provisioning for resources. That's basically what Kubernetes is to Docker containers.
Nice. That was awesome. So, I'm going to ask one more person. Eddie.
We have a question from David.
Okay.
He asked, does it have to be a public repository or you can pull from a private one?
No, you can't. Okay. Just a repository. Compare it to a GitHub repository. When I put a code in my private repository, no one will be able to see it, so you cannot pull it. David. Okay, awesome.
Marcrine,
Yes?
I have a question about the same. What if is there a way someone can give, say, a user access to images on their private repository?
Private?
Uh,
No, it has to be public.
so
Unless you are sharing the repository, collaborate with find out.
yeah. Actually, that is what.
You mean
Sorry.
GitHub repository or what?
No, I mean a Docker Hub repo.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Lewis?
So niko na homework lakini I think you can share login details like from ECS and ECR register repositories there. Somebody can log in you can get a credentials for that person so that they can log in and download the repository.
Nice. The images, not repository.
The images.
Yes. So I I hope you guys will be talking through things like images, containers, that you know how to define. So that when you explain to someone, you don't say a container when you're supposed to say an image.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should get that. Edith. Now tell me, how do you feel about Docker, Windows and Linux?
I am a Windows person,
Nice.
but what scares me about Linux is the use of commands, a lot of commands. But with the document, the documentation that you have shared, I think it is a lifesaver for me. Yeah, I will do it myself now using the documentation you have shared with us.
Awesome. That's great. Yeah. Any other person who has not? Okay, Enoch. Okay, Enoch is a guru with Docker, Kubernetes, and everything. Enoch, are you still there?
Yes, I'm there. No, I'm not a guru in everything.
But I know you are a guru with Docker, right? And
Yes.
Kubernetes.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah, so these are the people you can talk to when you're stuck. Enoch, Brian, Clinton, Lewis, Patrick here, me, David, everyone. Edith is okay now. You have people to talk to when you're stuck. Miriam, hi. If you're there.
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
How do you feel about Docker and all these things, Linux, Windows?
Okay. For me, I feel like you are becoming personal because I'm a Windows person. So at this point, nimekujamia. I won't even say anything.
Oh, yeah?
But yeah, Linux is good. I'm not saying Linux is bad. Linux is fun. It's simpler. And it's like straight to the point. When you have an error, it tells you where. Like you can see everything happening step by step. So I would guess that I accept it.
Okay, karibuni Linux, karibuni, tunaongoja. Yeah. Aha. Anyone else was not? Janet was here, but we cannot see her. So, the last person, Evans. Yeah, Evans will tell us how he feels about Docker, and then Patrick will close for us. Yeah, and we'll go home and do Docker. Next week, we meet and do something new about containers, advanced level. Yes, Evans, are you there?
Hi, Marcrine, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry I joined in late, but your question was if I know about
How
Docker?
do you feel about Docker, Linux, and Windows?
Oh, I'm so excited about Linux because, I just started using it a few months ago and it's amazing.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah. So, about Docker, I'm going to try a few examples here and there. And with time, I know I'll be a pro on it. So, thanks.
Great. That will be great. So I believe that's the end of our session, and if you get stuck anywhere, you are free to call any person in this group because everyone here is a guru. Even Moses is a guru, everyone. So I'll give it back to Patrick or Leah.
Okay, before handing it back to Leah, let me just give a quick parting shot. Someone listening to snips from this discussion might think our topic today was Linux versus Windows, which is better, but that was not it. We were just talking about Docker, and we were saying that you can actually use Docker as a container on any environment, be it a Windows environment or a Linux environment. I'd like to encourage all of us to be to have an adaptive mindset when it comes to technology, starting with the operating systems, then moving on to the various apps, technologies, name it, that we will come across. It's very, very important to be adaptive. So it is not a matter of being a Windows person or a Linux person. At the end of the day, we exist to serve clients. So it depends with what the client wants us to do. If the client wants us to maybe create something, say for example, I'm a developer. If they want me to create something that is supposed to run on Windows, I should not go up front and mwambie, me, I'm a Linux person. No. If they want you to do it with a new technology that you're not familiar with, always have this mentality that I can do. As long as we have ChatGPT, we have a thriving community like CloudForce, we have Google, we have Stack Overflow, we have GitHub, we have guys that we can collaborate with in different places. Always know that solution is within reach. So let us have that adaptive mentality, and be reminded that next week we are meeting here again, same time, and we will be going through challenge 6, which is about creating stuff inside Docker. Now we've shown you how to install. We hope that we've taken away one of the hurdles that maybe some of us were facing, and now from there we should now be able to go in and now start doing what you're supposed to do. And then next week when you come here, I hope we will have so many people excited and looking forward to it. If you're not a member of CloudForce, look around or talk to any of us. You can find us on LinkedIn. Ask us how to join the community. We'll be very happy to have you with us. From me and Marcrine, it's bye for now. Back to you, Leah. Take us home.
I think you have summarized everything very well. I think everything has been said. We will have a recording of this on our YouTube channel later in the week. And if you would like to find us, you can find us on LinkedIn at Cloud4 Sky. And you can join the community. We have weekly challenges where we go through certain projects to polish our tech skill. So it is goodbye from us. Thank you for joining us. Let us meet next Wednesday at a time like this. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.